Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
Bonjour,
Moi,
bonjour.
moi.
Welcome to another night in the Flickerverse.
Yeah.
Yay!
Awesome.
How you all,
Awesome,
how y'all
awesome,
doing?
awesome.
Awesome.
Doing good.
And I'm just going to put this banner up right away because we'll be talking episode 302 and 303 today. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Expect spoilers if you... As usual. I guess we'll try to not go too deep into like end of book spoiler stuff, but who knows what we'll be discussing. How are you all doing? Roger, how you been?
I'm doing good. I enjoyed the drop of the episodes, the gig I went to, and it was finally amazing weather today. So it seems like spring might be finally upon us. Can't wait to get the horses out on the pastures for the summer. Doing good. And totally hyped because finally the most important female character of the series is finally in the show.
Is that
Oh
final?
yeah, and you
And she's
got a
perfect.
you got a comment.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
tonight.
Oh, yes, right.
Let's see. Can I show it?
Of
Since
course.
you put it up in the. Let's
Of
see.
course.
Where did I put that? There we go. Oh, no, I'm zooming on the wrong screen again. There. Private message from Fail,
Yeah.
the pocket rocket.
Yeah. She's perfect.
I love the few we got so far from her. She's really good.
Mm.
The right amount of sassiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can get my screen back. Camille, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Great. Yeah, I guess. Can't wait for episode 4. I had a blast watching episode 2 and 3.
Awesome.
My only disappointment is that this weekend we recorded our episode reaction for Quiz of Time, and when I was starting on the post-production on Monday, I realized that my sound just sucks the whole time. So I'm disappointed by tech being mean to me.
Stupid tech.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be listenable.
Yeah. Well, we're good over here. Aggie needed a day off, Too much to do in the lab, but he's doing okay. We're doing great. He'll be back next week, hopefully. So, and we're of course looking forward to tomorrow. So before we jump into our discussion, to just flick through some Instagram posts and stuff like that. Not focusing too long on that because I really want to discuss the episode. Everyone is posting so much stuff. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to move my cat out of the way. Matt is being a bit of a dick as usual. But yeah, lots of behind the scenes stuff. Everyone seems to be having a good time.
They're also bloody.
Yeah, also bloody good time. So yeah, lots of just awesome pictures from the cast. Oh yeah, we got the part of the stunt team posting.
Did they show like part of the rig for that? I didn't see the video.
Let's see.
Like if you go to the next slide. Ah.
Yeah.
Whoosh. I want to do that. That looks like fun.
Yeah. A day as an actor doing that kind of thing. That sounds like a nice job.
Sorry, I just have to move this monster. Oh, it's blocking my entire second screen.
I'm always amazed how thin the cables are.
Yeah. Let me see what else. Discord name on the Malkier Talks is Pocket Rocket Stone.
Highly approve.
Very much so. Getting some bruises.
Yep.
I think we saw some. Yeah. So with the stunt team and some dancing. Not only dancing with the spears. Yeah, so many good posts up at the moment.
Oh, that was that Becoming Elida video. That was pretty good. Some interesting things in it.
Yeah.
And somehow it rained indoors at my place at the end when she thanked the fandom for making it possible.
Yeah.
Weird things happen when I sit
around.
Yeah. Might have been a little bit of people.
It couldn't have been me crying. That's impossible.
No.
We don't do that.
No.
Happy pictures. These were also cool. Or did we look at these last time? I forget.
Maybe? I don't remember.
Maybe we did. Or somewhere else. When are we getting to become like extras and die horribly on the show?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be fine even, I don't know, being a random background character that you see for that you don't even see. It just to feel the scene, and turns out that you get cut or whatever. But
see, Damo, please. No, I haven't. I don't think I put in anything from what's gonna happen in season 4 because I try to avoid that stuff myself. So, I haven't been I haven't been able to avoid everything, but I've seen more than I wanted to. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna show anything particularly. I mean, we're gonna discuss stuff, but not like show anything. I think. Not so happy Ruark. Water and Shade, happy Ruark. I love how all of Bjorn's posts.
I had not seen that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was so badass.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the Van Helsing show just for Jennifer. She kicks ass in that show as well.
Yeah.
She can fight.
Yeah, she's doing martial arts for years. I think.
Yeah. You can tell. No, this was just a wonderful picture. Casual gray man. Not talk about the clip even. I mean,
you haven't watched
don't know
any
if you've
clip
seen
about
it.
it before, so we're not going to talk about that.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't
At most,
watched.
we may make like hypotheses about what could happen in episode 4, but we haven't watched it, and we are not talking about specific scenes that were shown. So
I did see the clip. I did. It was like,
I
oh no, okay, I saw it. But
I think
I saw like one, but like I didn't watch it fully. So yeah.
Okay, let's see. And then we have a few more interviews.
Yeah.
Taylor is being busy.
Yeah, he
quite a
got
lot
quite
of
a few big interview with like Glad and was it Gay Times or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
some very
some other-
interesting yeah.
Should put the links in the Discord later so you can all just go in and
I've watched an interview with him on some kind of morning show, I think. At least from the setting, it seems like a morning show where he talked broadly about the show, and it's in my season 3 interview playlist.
Nice.
And
we also have a new interview with Guy Roberts, our dear Uno.
Yeah.
Second best Uno. It's both, so you can listen to it or you can just read the interview. But I was one particular thing that let's see what he said. It's a pretty long interview. And also, damn, Jessica. Where was it? Here we go. It was a real pleasure for me working on the Wheel of Time and the work that we continue to do on the show. And as we continue to promote it and celebrate Rafe Judkins and the Fantastic Writers. So, pleasure for me working on the show and all the work that we continue to do.
Interesting.
Yeah, the heroes will definitely come back.
Yeah, and it's been a great learning experience, a great privilege, and hopefully we can keep doing it for many years to come. I think he's still in there doing stuff. I still have my fingers crossed for a Guidol appearance in the Wolf Dream.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because now he has a connection from all the boys, mostly to Perrin.
Yeah.
He spent most of the time with Perrin and Loyal. So it would be fitting for them to meet in the dream world. If he would meet anyone from them in the dream world, it should be Perrin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Perrin, also just the fact that he lives in Prague makes it very easy for him to come back even for small scenes. So yeah. It's
and I mean, because Perrin, he mostly talks to Brigitte, but Guidol's sort of in the background there. So, and I think we could get a Brigitte in season 3, but I don't know if it's such a big character to introduce.
Probably not. I'm not entirely sure we'll get any Wolf Dream in season 3 because we are getting introduced to dreaming. Like there was already Lanfear and Tela Unreal in season 2. Now we are gonna get Gwen learning about being a dreamwalker, and I feel like they may wait a little bit to introduce that Perrin also as the Wolf Dream, especially like Perrin after the Two Rivers. There's not a lot, so that would give him something to do also in future season, but we'll see.
I think maybe we will start end of season 3. Maybe he will somehow slip to meet Hopper in the dream world, and then we get if we get Slayer, because Lord Luke is casted and on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a hint to that, and then save the reveal that Lord Luke is a part of the Slayer persona later on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because-
Perrin is really someone you have to look at his whole arc and figure out how to pace that so that he feels like getting a progress, because there's not that much for Perrin overall.
Yeah,
So,
but we have to get Perrin on foot with the wolves so that he can call them later on, because if we get season 4 again, my prediction is season 4 finale will be Do My Swells.
I keep going back and forth on that. I feel like, yes, it would be excellent to have Do My Swell at the end of season 4, but I also have no clue where they're gonna end season 3. So yeah,
We would need the whole introduction of the Black Tower. There's so much stuff.
Yeah. But I think maybe at the end of the season, Rand will be heading for Tyr. I don't think we're going back to Carian
No.
to get Calendar. And
I'd be fine if Calendar get delayed even more, because
Yeah,
Calendar Rand gets Calendar and then doesn't use it for like 5 books or something like that.
Yeah.
So
totally.
I'm still like on the team to get Calendar after Dumas Vale, because
Same, but they mentioned
we'll see.
Calendar and Tia so much in the first episode. I think they're going back to it. Maybe they try to get there, and the whole purpose of him getting the Aiel is to get into the stone. He wants an army and to throw the Forsaken off track. Maybe they're trying to get there, and maybe he gets captured on the way. I don't know. Or maybe we will go back to Carian. I'm not pretty sure. But we will see, right? But there's plenty of time to build a Black Tower. Taim has been mentioned already again a few times. So
yeah. Should we start talking about episode 2, episode 3, or get into that?
You sent me one thing, it's from a behind the scenes thing from
it's from Becoming a Leader.
Yeah, we can start off here,
because it was your theory.
Yes.
What if there is
Elfin bracelet. I didn't see that until the day I saw you sent me or posted in the Flickr chat, and I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't read the text.
Yeah, and you see a fox and a snake on it.
Yeah.
On each of the redstone on the side, like the right side is a fox head, and the other side is a snake.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Oh my god, it is.
It makes me so happy, because I remember season 1, season 2 prediction, and people were like, the elfin are gonna be cut, it's gonna be too complicated. And now we keep seeing like the redstone door, like we saw it twice, once in Mean's vision and once in Tarvalon, like in the White Tower. Now we are seeing that, which means Elida had a deal with the elfin. I'm like, what is that deal? Because that is definitely not in the book.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's foretelling.
Maybe.
Very important part of costume. And there's so much I want to talk about, but just with this, but we see her. I don't know if it's
shaking.
in episode. Yeah, like
Episode
her
3.
wrist is going like, and she just
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's the hand the bracelet is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah, I mean,
wondering about that.
There's 2 moments in this episode where they insist on this bracelet. So when her hand is shaking and she's throwing things off, they definitely insist on the bracelet. And when she has the discussion with Min and Min asks about it. Also,
Yeah.
I think we see the bracelet during Morgane's coronation.
Oh, maybe we do.
So she already had it back then, I think.
Yeah,
So
and she mentioned her foretelling of the Camlin succession war, and that
Queendom
there
of
too-
Andor, yeah.
yeah, when she talks to Mim, that she
Yeah.
took charge, that she took action to make it happen and to predict how it goes in there, or how to have influence on how this event happens and how we come out of it.
So yeah. Do you think
What makes me-
Sorry.
Go for it. Go for it.
Do you think her foretellings then are actually information from the Finns? And she gave something up health-wise or something to get like answers for the future instead of actual having foretellings.
Yeah, I think she might have gone through the doorway, visited the Finns, and asked for a gift to grant her more influence or more power, maybe. And being able to foretell stuff gives you more influence over the future. And maybe the price she has to pay is a decline in health or of her mobility.
I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
It's really interesting nonetheless. I want that bracelet now.
It's too gaudy for me.
Yes. That was such a
Shut
good
up, Sutama.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Like the look on Elida's face.
Yeah.
She was mad. I really like the tension that was there within the Red Aja.
Yeah. And I really like that the shredding explicitly showed that it isn't the Red Aja that is evil. There are evil people among the Red Aja, but from any other Aja as well.
Yeah.
So and now you got the more reasonable one, like the highest of the Red Aja, Tsutama. No, we have to regain footing here. We have to reclaim our part, and we have to pay for this because it's only right that we have to.
Yeah, I mean, Liandrid was a blow to the Red Aja reputation.
Yeah.
And there's already so much tension with the Red Aja and the Amirlin seat. And Elida's coming back is making things worse because Swan and Elida can't stand each other. And also Elida is definitely manigancing against the seat, and that's something that people knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did appreciate like Elida figuring out a way to get rid of the highest. So
I totally love that the show has done something, in my opinion, way better than the books has done. So to make these characters way more nuanced, to give them more reason for their agenda, for their agency. Like you kind of sympathize in some parts with Liandrin when you think of what shaped her.
Liandrin is a character that's, yes, she's evil and she's very problematic. At the same time, you can't blame her for like stopping a child wedding.
Yeah, and in the books,
I think I held up.
She came across to me in more always quite power hungry and and evil. There wasn't this nuance to it that we get in the show, and same for the Red Aja. To see the interworkings of the Red Aja and how many positions there are in there.
Yeah.
How they view the world, how they see their standing and actions they have to take to it's very diverse, and I really appreciate that.
It's definitely, the show definitely gives a lot more nuances to the Red Sisters than the books. I'm hoping that we will get a Red Aja sister in Salida, because I feel like that was a miss from the books. And maybe Tsusama could show up there again.
It would be, and it would make sense. She's after Taim now.
I mean, now she's not going to be in the tower for an eventual coup.
Right. And then when she hears about that, she isn't in line with Elida anyway, so that would make it reasonable to oppose Elida and join the rebel.
Yeah.
So speaking of Red Sisters, what did you think of Leandrin's Indiana Jones Kalima moment?
Good for her.
Yeah.
She had no right to decide to erase the mind of that girl. That's where I put my line, okay?
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, there's...
But again, you understand where she comes from, because she has had to endure this trauma herself.
She's a complicated character, and then that's what makes her interesting. She's a nuanced villain.
We like complicated characters, even though we might not like their actions, but
that doesn't mean we like
people.
Support everything she does. We don't, but it still makes her a lot more interesting than the basic villainess that she had in the books. She was very much cartoonish in a way.
Next to no one liked Leandrin in the books.
We don't care about her. It's not even liking or hating. She's just she's a flat character. So
and in the show, you are highly invested into her arc.
Yeah, especially the relationship with Nynaeve is something that was brought up a few times in episode 2 and episode 3. And that's something that I do find fascinating. That's something we were talking about in another Discord regarding, in the books, Leandrin used a lot of compulsion, which she doesn't do in the show at all.
Right.
And I find it very nice, actually, that they got rid of that, because then all of her interaction with Nynaeve are not based on any sort of magical coercion. There was a genuine connection there.
Yeah. And speaking of compulsion, I really liked how they did the
Gabriel.
The Gabriel.
Yeah.
First, how they foreshadowed that with Liana in the first moment not recognizing him.
Yeah.
And the same, shorter and way more quiet with Elaine when she visited her brother, and there was this very short hesitation before she recognized him.
I mean, even Swan's reaction was weird out. Swan
so
smiling like that for a man? No way. Yeah.
And I really appreciate that they thought of this as foreshadowing.
I don't know whether I would call that foreshadowing more than just a hint, because that's something that gets revealed the next episode.
Okay.
Foreshadow, there's a bit of the notion that it lasts on the longer term. But it was very well set up.
Yeah.
I mean, I was confused for. I was like, oh, Robin, and then it's like, wait, people are saying that he's been there for 10 years or something, or a few years.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that doesn't with the time. I was like, oh, okay, it's just everything's just compulsion.
I saw a reaction of a book reader after episode 2 that was like, but the timeline doesn't make sense. Elaine left for the tower like before the Forsaken mirror release. How can she know that this is like that? This is a stepdad or whatever? And then you watch the next episode. I was like, oh yeah, of course, compulsion.
Yeah, and it makes even more sense that the hesitation on Liana's side is longer because he had to compose the whole room when he entered there. And when Elaine entered, it was only Elaine.
Yeah.
It makes the Forsaken so scary because like the amount of power that is required there, like we see all of the tower, everyone being manipulated there, but everyone in the code of Andor is feeling like that, and we know there's apparently some issue in Andor because Captain General Brian got fired, and now the army is rebelling, and it's like, okay, how much of Camille is actually under compulsion? Is that why was Gabriel fired? Was it because he was already the boyfriend, and as a result, the compulsion was too hard to make, and so he had to go? Or was it just to create more trouble in Camlin? I'm actually that's something I'm still not sure about regarding Gabriel and Raven, and regarding Elaine. And what was his plan regarding Elaine? Elaine staying in the tower, is that what he wanted or what it did not want?
It feels like he encouraged her to do like her own stuff, but I don't
then
know.
Why did they show up in Tarvalon?
Yeah, I'm not completely sure what.
I don't know whether like everything worked. Like I just don't know whether everything so far is working according to the Forsaken's plans, or whether things are not working how they want it to work.
Yeah.
And speaking of making Forsaken scary, Moggy, hello.
Yeah.
Jai Chin? Wow.
Jackson was episode 1, but
Laia Costa is doing an amazing job, and now the first 3 episodes give me the feeling I have been longing for, because what I think was what was missing from the show was the danger for them. We had Dana as Dark Friend, and that's practically it, who tried to assassinate them.
I mean, season 2 was pretty dangerous for a lot of them. Elaine did spend quite some time with Ascension. I don't think it's a danger that was missing. I think like this season has found actually the right balance between comedy and action and like tension. Like,
I mean,
season 2 was a bit too tense, in my opinion.
But I mean, the danger, the imminent danger, and that's always around because everybody could be a Dark Friend. That's the thing that I didn't got from season 1 and season 2, so that the kid begging for money on the corner of the street could be one that kills you.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that was highly emphasized in the books, and I was missing that in the series, which I now get by the Forsaken popping up here and there, with Moggy popping up in Tanchico as a servant. hiding.
I do think the books do have that, like a similar sort of progression, in a sense that like the books get darker as the kids lose a little bit of their innocence in a way.
Yeah.
I like in the first 2 seasons. Yes, there was this like Dana at some point as a dark friend. Leandrine's betrayal was pretty huge for some people, and also like Leandrine was inside of the tower, and there was kind of already this question of who else. But yeah, I mean, something was a bit set up in a sense that we did had like the dark friend social with Ishamael and a bunch of other people, other dark friends who were part of a vast group of people.
Yeah.
I think part like it could have been improved with Ingtar. Like if Ingtar reveal, if they had been able to do that, which in my opinion was kind of doomed as soon as they lost Ingtar's actor in season 1. Because then they had to recast and change the name in season 1, and then you don't have the time to develop that character enough so that the reveal actually hit. But yeah, it's I think tension and danger was kind of already there, in my opinion. Like Rand spent months sleeping with an innkeeper that turned out to be the Forsaken.
Yeah. My point is so that the non-book watchers are getting the feeling I gotta look out at every street corner, who is looking at me funny and might be a threat to the characters, which I had when I read the books. I have that now because of the Forsaken making a way more competent impression on me than in the books, and popping up everywhere and actually forming alliances on the basic level, because they always will betray each other.
But I think you need some sort of progression in your TV show, so you can't have like the tension being already high in season 1, because then you can't get it higher and higher. So I do like the progression that they've been doing. And yeah, I mean, we're in season 3. We are not halfway through yet, but we're in a third of the show in a way, if all goes well. And things have to get scarier and scarier, but you can't start at a super scary level.
Nah.
So what do we think of Samael here then? And also the name dropping Semirhage and Grendel. And we're missing one then. Asmo?
I think it's gonna be Asmodean, maybe mixed with someone else. I do not care about Demon Dread at all, so I'm fine with like the Forsaken we have right now. Samael was pretty funny. I loved how he was saying Rand Alto to Lanfear and making fun of her. I love his costume also. It really has a general vibe. Like he's a leader of an army. I don't remember who Samael was in the books, in a sense. I don't remember who he was in his past life and what led him to the dark.
If I remember correctly, he was the shortest of them, and I think one of.
Is that
and I think, and I think he had an ego problem.
Was it
and wanted to be?
Was it Samael or Demandrel that was mad that Lusterin got the leadership of the army?
That was Demandrel.
Yeah.
Who of them was in love with Elgena? Because that was I mixed them up.
Oh, I don't. Wasn't that Demandrel as well?
I do not remember any of them being in love with Elena.
Because
one of them was jealous of because he was also courting Elaine at some point. But I can't remember if it was Samuel or if it was Demondred.
And I'm totally fine with cutting Demondred for the show and not having the Sharons. Or you could bring the Sharons.
But then you'd need a better build-up for the Sharons.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at Samuel wiki page, and apparently he was the one that wasn't happy about the supreme command of the Force of the Light given to the dragon, because he thought he was a superior general.
Right. Yeah. He invented tactics, right? We've got that in the casting.
Yeah.
What series released last year these monologues or dialogues that
I haven't seen any of those, so yeah. So Demondred is just the shadow of Lusterin, and yes, he was liking Eliana, and that part also of what drew him to the dark. But Samuel was a general.
Like he got second place. That's all.
Yeah. Demondred was always a second place guy, and he did not like that. Which, if he doesn't even make it in the show, it's like you're really second place in front of every other 4 second we could have kept.
I'm so looking forward to Grendel.
Yeah, and Semirhage, I'm happy about her too. Grendel's gonna be fun. I'm curious who they're gonna cast for Grendel. There's been a lot of fan cast over the year.
Yeah. Some good, some not so good.
I think the two I've seen the most for Grendel is either London or London River.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of those names because
she's part of the fandom. She does adult entertainment. Yeah,
the thing is that there's a few words in your sentence that I just didn't understand, and I think if I see them written, maybe it's gonna click. But for me, it's just a combination of sound that did not make sense.
Okay.
English sometimes weird.
Yeah,
completely fine.
Totally fine. And the other one is Nicola Coughlan from Bridgerton.
Don't know.
Those are the two I've seen the most as fan cast for Grendel.
As long as Grendel isn't skinny, I don't care.
No, she needs some luscious curves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so just what were your favorite things from these 2 episodes, or most memorable scenes, or?
Funnily, despite it being a scene that I didn't really care for in the books, the payoff of the quarterstaff scene with Matt, Gawain, and Galad made me very happy.
Yeah.
I like that they took 2 episodes basically teasing us every time Matt was getting close to the courtyard, and then we finally get that scene, and it just, I don't know, it really feels like the revenge of the farm boy against those 2 princes that think themselves above him because he's fighting with the quarterstaff.
I love. I mean, people have been saying, "Oh no, the show's gonna make me like Gawain." No, Gawain still sucks. They're both incredibly douchey.
They're douchey, but also so far, Galad has a little bit more personality than Gawain. Gawain hasn't talked much or done anything at all, so it's hard to get a real opinion of him yet.
No, he's got such a punchable face. It was just
I really liked when Elaine comes into the Royal Andorran quarters, how he skips over, prancing like a pony. I thought it was so funny. That is so Gawain. I really loved it.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, Dana, you like this Galad. Okay.
I mean,
I was just going like, I hate them. Matt punched them so hard. Please, just kick their asses.
But I really appreciated the banter from Elaine and Nynaeve.
yes.
Yes, that was.
No offense, none taken. Taking for someone who's sleeping with an actual king.
Yeah, and then I think everyone is in for this game. Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nynaeve was shocked.
Yeah. I really liked it. And I really like the development of the relationship between Matt and Min.
Yeah, it's a really nice friendship that doesn't
Yeah.
exist in the books, and I'm just
Right.
happy they started with that in season 2 and now are expanding even more on it. I love their dynamic.
Yeah, how they started to see themselves in the other one and related on their, let's say, mental problems, because Min's Hughes give her mental problems, and it's and same for Matt, how they recognized each other.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I
can't wait to see him hanged.
Yeah. I sort of thought that we were getting like the whole because we've seen the redstone door frame in the tower in the 13th depository. I thought we were getting it in episode 3, and I was like, go there now. Like, he's not going there. No.
What do you think? Is the second one in Tanchico?
I'm thinking the museum, the Planet's Palace. Yeah.
Maybe he accidentally stumbled through it during a fight.
Who knows?
Or maybe they're bringing, because Varen was cataloging all the Songreal and Songreal. So maybe they have notes and stuff, and this does this, or he talks to like some museum person or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't think Melindra is gonna be Grendel. Like, just let Melindra be a shitty Malkier dark friend or whatever.
That would be merging too many characters, I feel.
Yeah. I'm kind of expecting.
Sorry.
I was just going back to Matt. I'm kind of expecting the doorway to show up in like episode 8 for him.
7 or 8 or something.
I think there was some casting leak with an elfin on episode 8, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember.
What I really didn't like, well, I'm kind of torn about it. When the Grey Man attacked Nynaeve and Elaine in the Brown Aja Quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That Nynaeve already questioned Mira, Varen being Black Aja as well.
But I think she does. That's exactly like the books. It's very page.
The wording is very similar in the books, but it's Sheriam instead. But also, like, I'm not too concerned about that, because I remember in the books that Sheriam, we had this hint about her, like in book 3, I think, and then nothing till book, I don't know, 9 or something like that. So I feel like it's fine if they give a hint right now, even if I'm not sure like Shawnee folks will understand that this is a hint of her being a dark friend, because she's not lying. She's just not asking the obvious.
Yeah.
Maybe she just figured that Nynaeve stabbed him.
Yeah.
I think
Nynaeve stabs.
I think they have to let her do something incredible to make her sure to make the show watcher sure, yeah, she's on the side of the light, so that the your dress is green reveal hits. Right.
Yeah, but your dress is green reveal also hits a lot because when you look back, then you see all of the hints.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hints in the books. Like even I think it's in The Great Hunt when she says Moran sent her and Moran never sent her, which like she was directly lying. It should have been obvious, but still people were like, "Yeah, but really, I don't want that. She's doing only good thing."
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah. I'm not gonna be mad if they do something similar in the sense that there's tiny hint, things that maybe like when you know you see them. When you don't know, do you?
I mean, they're throwing out like Swan was also, I can't even trust Liana or.
Yeah, but she's in the same sentence than Kiana, who's like her most trusted advisor in a way. Like she's the keeper of the chronicles.
And when Nynaeve says, how can we trust you? That's the exact way I want you to think.
Yeah.
She wants to be questioned herself. They have to trust no one.
Yeah.
They should question everyone therein included. It would be suspicious if they were not like questioning us therein.
Let's see, what else? Oh, we haven't talked about this scene yet.
Yeah.
Just for you.
I really love that. But I'm sad that they didn't call the horses any names during the show, especially in season 1 when they were on the way. I think Bella is mentioned once or twice briefly. It would have taken to say for Lan to say brrr, Mandab and call it. So I think then this reveal would hit even more. It would be even more fun. But on the other hand, I really liked it. I really liked that they did it. But I think it could be.
It was more for book readers than for.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, even if if you're asking any show viewer right now what's the name of the horse Egwene is riding when they reach Shadar Logoth, they're not gonna know, and we know it's Bella. Even if she says it, because it's like remembering the name of a horse, that's not something like I think the joke still hit even if you had never heard that person say the horse name. So
I really liked it, but I would have wished but that was my complaint from first season on. Yeah, it's just pure
nitpicking.
Yeah. Hey, I'm German. That's how we are.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get out of my skin.
Yeah, I always find it very funny, or even in a fandom where it's not against you or against anyone, but even in a fandom where we are supposed to be very supportive of the show and scancing every reaction video from people that are very much in the fandom, there's always like the good, but also like the bad and the things that I didn't like. And I'm like, yeah, of course, but it's like you have to why do you always have to nuance your enjoyment by mentioning the things you didn't like? That's something that is very common in this fandom, and that's something that I do not understand. But I mean, it's fine. If the first thing you want to mention is that tiny thing you didn't like, sure, but it's a bit sad. That's it.
I have loved the whole Perrin arc in this season so far. Let's see, I had some more
I'm looking forward to see him like trying to rescue the cousin. I don't remember how he does that in the books. So I don't know whether like Fail is gonna be there with him or anyone else. Or does he do that with like? Did he do that in the books with Goal or?
I mean, his family is killed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I feel like there was an attack on the White Cloak camp.
Yeah.
I think there was Abel and Tem. Were they with him? And Will Alcine?
It was some of the Two Rivers boys.
Yeah.
It would be fun to have the Alcine.
Yeah.
Because we saw them in the 3 episode. I saw they mentioned that Tam, Abel, and Bran were out. So I'm curious whether we'll see any of those actors at all this season. I haven't checked IMDb, so I don't remember.
Maybe
I don't think I've seen. I can't remember.
Well, it wouldn't make sense until after the Battle of the Two Rivers, because I think it wouldn't make sense for them to come back after the Battle of the Two Rivers, because they are out with Perrin's family to keep them safe from the White Cloaks. So just after the Battle of the Two Rivers, the White Cloaks may leave the Two Rivers, and then it's only safe for them to come back.
Yeah. I'm guessing is that the whole thing is just a question of disponibility of the actors. So if the actors were not available this season, that's definitely an easy excuse.
Yeah.
Or if the actors were only available, let's say for like one episode, that could be a way to get them out of the Two River for a while, and then maybe like even if they were hiding themselves elsewhere, maybe it became too it could become too dangerous to stay like in a hidden farm somewhere with respect to the Trollocs. So that may be why.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it leaves both options open.
Yeah.
I hope we get the Tam and Abel, because I love those two in the books, their interactions.
And I was kind of hoping for Abel redemption arc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nils is asking if that's a new shoulder face on Valda. He had something similar, I think.
Yeah.
Season 2. It's probably
this is honestly the first time I'm realizing it's a face.
It's like 2 or 3 faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Looks very disturbing.
Yeah.
But also cool.
A bit creepy.
Kind of Pinhead-ish.
I'm assuming it's supposed to be some sort of sunbursty thing, but yeah, it looks a bit like Pinhead. We're getting drunk Dane.
Yeah, Dane isn't in a good spot.
He's not having a good day for sure.
But he still has his moral compass.
Yeah, you feel for him at least a little bit.
I like him.
What we've seen so far, his relationship with his father was a good one. So losing your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pain on a Dane.
Especially now having to deal with Valda when you could deal with your dad before.
Yeah.
White Cloak HR department.
Where do I file a complaint?
Like those kids, those poor kids in the White Cloak camp. Oh.
Yeah.
It's a horrible, horrible place to be. Let's see. What else sort of screenshots did I take? Also, I really enjoyed the scene where just Perrin comes out just to say, like, hey, just being logical. It's like, no, I'm not trying to be a leader or anything. This makes sense.
Mm.
Like,
I
seeds of growth.
Yeah, I really loved. Yeah, and the way he changes to carry himself
Yeah.
when he decides, I take action, I lead, even though I'm not sure if it's even a conscious decision, and
No.
not just only talking common sense. But I really like that his whole posture changes in that moment.
Yeah. He takes a step forward and then just stand a little bit taller and
Shoulders back. Yeah.
A bit more of an authority figure in a way. And it was really good.
Yeah.
And you can see Fail just going, huh. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
this. Duly noted.
Yeah, I really loved when they have their chat in the forge.
Yeah.
And she turns away and he said, wait, the smirk on her face. Oh, that was gorgeous.
Yeah. Daniel mentioned a scene that is also one of my favorite in the second episode.
Yeah.
That scene with Swan and Matt started so funny.
Yeah.
And then Swan mentioned her uncle and will you be there when the flames are high?
Yeah. That was
that was a really great scene.
That was so good.
It's just it's just nailed.
The way his voice is shaky when he say I only do what I must, and it's so good.
Donald is so amazing as Matt.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor.
He's really growing into that character. It's like because
at
first
you go first. I interrupted you. Go first.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when the first time I just saw like the picture of Donald, and I was like, oh, I saw the little clip from The Witcher. I was like, no, that's not my Matt. That's not how my Matt looks. But now it's like he embodies the character so well. So he's starting to look like Matt, even though I picture him in my head very differently. He's just like, no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I really get sad when I watch a reaction video to episode 1 and they cut out the part with him when he takes off the boys for a last drink in Tarvalon. Come on, one last hurrah. When they cut it out, like, oh, it's such a good part.
Yeah, I think that Donald really has a good range of emotion and is like Matt in this season especially goes very quickly from the comedic aspect to the emotional depth of it all, and I think Donald is portraying that really well. I really like that.
Like the shifts between the comedy and the serious parts, and just how it flows so well, and it's it's a very good balance between it.
Yeah, and you really feel his trauma in the scene just before Nynaeve gets attacked by the Grey Man, when they're talking and she's holding his hand and you hear the screams in his head and see his visceral reaction to that. That's
just made me think of another scene when he's hearing scream, but there's two scenes when he's lying on his bed, and one is hearing the scream of the battles. There's another one where he's hearing other kind of screams, and that one was so funny.
And Mint's reaction to hearing that
is that
it's so funny.
And the funny, I don't know whether you watch with subtitles, but in the subtitles it's written like Gawain moan and
yeah.
So funny. I think people who don't watch with subtitles, sometimes they are missing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always watch with the subtitles. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm really happy Raima made it out of
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah. It took me like a second. I was like, wait, that Raima? That just
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't
But I
sure
mean,
because
it makes sense
the
to
hairdo.
get her.
Yeah.
Because the hairdo was way different, so I wasn't sure in the first moment. Is this the same actress?
Yeah.
No.
But it is. Yeah.
It is. I'm curious whether the change of haircut was her own decision or something like what happened to Egwene with Ascension.
Yeah.
Might have been. Let's see. Oh, and this was also nice. We haven't talked about so much about going through the waste.
Yael.
That's nice. So how are we feeling about the Bear Meese merge?
Sorry, I'll be right back.
No, I'm not dealing with this question.
I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, it works for the show.
Yeah,
it makes sense to merge some of the characters.
It's unfortunate because they intended to keep both and couldn't for budget issue, I think. And it's true that right now it's Bear, but she's closer to Amis in the books. But I mean, it still makes for a good show. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like Amis, but it's not like they're not my favorite characters, so I'm not too invested in that. Like,
yeah,
some of the people might be, but I'm just like interested to see how that develops.
I mean, to be completely honest,
honest,
like before this season, I probably wouldn't have been able to give you a description of who is Bear and who is Amis, so it doesn't change much for me.
But yeah, it feels like maybe this. I remember Rafe talked about why they used the Bear name Bear for Bear instead of using Mies, but I can't remember exactly what he was saying. But maybe it was something like maybe they can bring in Mies later on, perhaps. But I don't know why they would.
I think
it's the characters and.
It's probably a very boring administrative thing, in a sense that if they had already cast Bear's actress for Bear, and if there was already like paperwork being signed regarding, okay, you're gonna play this character. I don't know exactly how like contracts are being made for actors, but if a contract was already there for her to play Bear, then maybe changing the name would have been complicated.
I know it was brought up in an interview, but I just can't remember the details of it.
Yeah, it's probably a very boring administrative thing.
Yeah. I think Sarah Nakamura said in the Dusty Wheel chat during Trailer Gaidon? I think yes. That we might get Amis later on.
Yeah, right. The Bear
was
already signed.
Yeah, but to me it's like paperwork and contract.
So there's still a possibility for some sort of Amis character in the future, but we'll see. Any other scenes you want to talk about?
I was thinking about the one with Perrin and Alana and the Apple Blossom graveyard.
Yeah.
I thought that one was very moving. And I mean, I love how, I think it's episode 3, who showed like multiple funeral rites. So Perrin talking about his family being buried with an apple blossom seed in their hand. That's so pretty.
It was a really beautiful shot.
Yeah, very beautiful shot. Alana talking about the ashes mixed with clay and water and used on as makeup, basically. It's not what she said, but that's pretty much the vibe.
Yeah, until it seeps into your skin and becomes part of you. It was
and Leandrine with like painting the symbol in chalk. It's I love how they're very sure, like they're really showing a diversity of culture there.
Yeah, I think for now we must have had 6 burying rituals. We got the one from the beginning episode 5 season 1.
Yeah.
Then we got the morning of step-in.
Yeah. Like we got the ring as a fire.
Yeah, between the waters. Then we've got
the lanterns.
The lantern.
Got the lantern on bedtime.
The lantern
with the stone.
The apple blossom trees. The Leandrin painting the symbol in chalk and salt. And Alana's
in season 2.
We got that. So and like the mention of we have different way of coping with grief. Maxim drowning in his grief, and Alana trying to go through the day, basically.
This scene hit me so hard. Great acting, and also just like
Yeah, and the same for when Bane and Chiad wanted to play Maiden's Kiss with Maxim.
It's the blood of the only man I've ever loved.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we respect that.
And right before, like, I'm just trying to protect myself because I'm drowning in your grief. Like when she shows up and is like, if I eat another turnip, I pray to the light that I'll choke on it. And you can like season 1, Maxim would have said that in a very funny way. Here, it's still funny, but you can feel it's close to the tear.
Yeah.
Like he's almost genuinely praying for choking on it and dying with that.
Yeah. And
I can't deal with sad-eyed Taylor. Is that?
Yeah.
And then when he says it's the blood of the only man I ever loved. He's a warder. You would expect he takes care of his weapon. He cleans it. Because dirty sword would set on rust.
So what's that Maxim sword then that got cut through Ivan?
Maybe.
I think yes. I think during the shredding, there you can see the difference. I think Maxim has more like a katana one, and Ivan.
That makes it even worse.
And Ivan was having a blade that's a bit more like
curved.
Bit curved, gets wider to the bit wider to the tip, and then narrow again with a hand buckle. Or how would you say that? Like pirates,
saber?
like a pirate saber. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know my sword.
When the reds show up during the shredding and they turn around, you can pretty good compare there. And I think it was that way around. I could be wrong though.
I think this
rewatch.
To look at the shot when they try to cut Leandrine's head off. Because then you can have the sword side by side and compare. But yeah, it's I love that the show is going there because it's not really something that the books dive into. Like cultural traditions are mentioned, but you don't feel them. It's sometimes a bit away from the emotions of the characters in a way.
Yeah, it's more scientific. It's more
Yeah,
observant.
it's very much an outsider observation of a ritual, and now you feel how much it matters to all of those characters. So, yeah.
So, we've been going on for quite a while. But what are we expecting for episode 4? We're just gonna. We know we're getting Ruidian at
columns.
least. Yeah. Columns
So
and
that's-
rings.
Columns and rings. I'm curious whether it's gonna be entirely Isle Waste or whether we're still gonna see some people elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think
Will we get some Tanchico maybe?
no,
Because
I think,
it's 66
I think,
minutes. That's a long time to be only focused on the Isle.
I think Ray said in one interview there are 2 episodes that are reserved only for one character each. So it would be Ruidian, pretty much be reserved only for Rand's arc and those who are in his party.
Mhm.
And then the Battle of the Two Rivers, which would be Perrin's.
Okay.
They said that they did dedicate a whole episode to one character each. And when he says whole, when he says whole, I think he means entirely.
Or like the majority of that episode in the.
Yeah, because then he would say most of one episode, and not the whole. But
So
we
might
will
get
see.
some snippets maybe of them traveling or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, an easy way to check is what.
But yeah, we're gonna expect mostly Isle Waste stuff and
And I think episode 7, Golden Eyes, would be mostly Perrin, at least mostly, if not entirely Perrin's arc.
Yeah. When is the musical episode supposed to be? I mean, I'm assuming that's a Tanchico moment. A Tom Marilyn.
Yeah.
Maybe you get an entire Tom Marilyn episode.
No, please no.
Maybe we will get Elaine singing when she's in the Elaine costume.
I was gonna say something and I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. Nah, just. Yeah.
On that note, I really like the comedic duo Bane and Chiad.
Oh yeah, I love them.
When
especially Bane.
Yeah, when Chiad announces to Loyal they are going with them because she has tow, and Bane says, "I go where she goes." It's so funny the way she delivers that line and her acting in that moment. I love that.
And also this scene. It's also. And Marin's just going like, what's happening? Like, who? Roof mistress? Me?
Yeah. And I really liked how Perrin tries to come across as well cultured.
Mm-hmm.
When he introduces them, this is our Ogier and this are Aiel women and maidens of the spear. The way he intonates that, maidens of the spear.
Yeah.
And Marn is just looking so confused.
And after the bubble of evil, I want to see Loyal having a long-handled axe. When he smashes that thing into the ground and breaks off the handle, good stuff.
I also love the that we got a gate for the way gate.
Yeah, that was
absolutely. And that they addressed that. Such a better way to travel than with all the channeling. How did you like the traveling weave that the Forsaken are using?
The small weave. It's I wish I could learn it. It'd make life easier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I really liked the look of that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's still not a book canon look for a Waygate, but it's I like this.
Yeah.
And also like now we know how, because they cut that scene with when Fane in season 1 had a little Avendasora leaf.
Yeah.
Right. Should we round off the night?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So, anything special it's the arches and the
rings and the columns.
The columns. But anything like specific you want to see in that episode?
I mean, from the trailer, there's going to be a lot of Moray and Manfia interactions. That's going to be spicy.
Yeah.
We haven't really have we seen anything from Avienda's perspective? I don't think so.
No.
I think we'll get
but I don't think we'll get any. In the books, there's this big deal about us not knowing anything she's seen and her like being upset by it. So I'm curious whether they'll keep something like that.
Oh, cold open prediction. I don't know. Will we have some Shido? We have mention of the Shido. Could we get some I don't remember what episodes Couladin or Savannah is supposed to be in, but maybe I'm just throwing out Shido stuff.
I think they should be there because in the trailer we see a person ahead of Rand between the columns that should be Muradin.
Yeah, we have a Muradin.
So
yeah, but do we see Muradin before he's inside already the column or not?
No, but the clan should wait outside of Viridian.
Yeah.
For Muradin to come out.
Is there anyone mentioned? There's Muradin mentioned, but there's not the Savannah and Couladin. Yeah, okay, so we should see them.
So I'm throwing out a cold open, some Shido cold open maybe, if we're sticking to mostly an Aiel episode.
That'd work fine actually.
Yeah, because they got mentioned just before as suspects to slay the two of them. Yeah.
Or we get maybe some sort of Age of Legend, but we're gonna get the Age of Legends in the columns, so
yeah, that's why I wasn't mentioning that, because we're gonna go back in time.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious whether, like, are we gonna see, for example, we're gonna get some sort of creation of the bow, I guess. There's gonna be a lot of lore that's gonna be dropped. Really curious about that. Really looking forward to that.
I'm pretty sure Rand's first vision will be Janduin.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that in the trailer.
Yeah. in the snow.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
one thing I'm curious about actually, because
Yep.
we had multiple mention of like Tigran was mentioned by Morgaze and Elaine.
Mm.
Will the connection be made that Tigran is Rand's mother? Or is that something that will be revealed later on?
I mean, people should be able, if like non-book readers, they should be able to connect the dots by now.
No.
But
No,
They-
not really.
I mean, if you're
Unless-
really
unless they are-
getting,
Unless you get really into the detail and you notice that in the credits, that woman in the episode 6 of season 1 was called Tigraine, then maybe. But most normal folks won't know.
no. But if you're really nerdy,
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe.
talking about the nerdy people. The nerdy people knows way too much.
And I don't think they will change the name like they did in the books. She will be called Tigraine amongst the Aiel as well. She won't be Shy.
Maybe.
That would make it too complicated for the mainstream watcher.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see Jadwin finding Tigrain's body and
then yelling Tigraine or something.
and calling her name.
Yeah.
Oh, so that would be interesting, because then, like, the episode where Tigraine was mentioned was literally 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
So
And,
now the connection is easy to make.
What do you think? Will we get that Galad and Rand are half brothers?
Not yet, probably.
No.
At some point, I'm expecting something to be like, because Galad is definitely Tigrain's son. Is Damodred in the credit? Is a Damodred in the credit? So I'm expecting if they did not intend to use that connection to Rand, they wouldn't have like cared about making Galad's name different from Trakand.
Okay, I didn't look at the credits. I just was going by the casting announcement, and he was I think only Prince Galad, or even Galad Trakand.
Is introduced as Lord Galad of Ostrakand, and Gawain is introduced as Lord Gawain of Ostrakand, Prince of the Sword. Yeah.
Because
but I mean, he's been adopted by Ostrakand, but he's not the Trakand by blood.
Yeah, because he runs towards Morgaze and calls her mommy, which is totally fine for a kid.
He's like 5 years old.
Yeah. But
and also stepmother and mother.
Yeah, and in the books, it really doesn't have a big payoff that Galad is Rand's half-brother.
Maybe he should have.
It should have, but I would have
the
no
show
problem
can do something. If the show wants to do something with it and make it an interesting payoff, they have the freedom to do so.
Yeah,
and I don't think anyone would mind if there's a bigger payoff to it.
No. I wouldn't mind them cutting it entirely or giving it a bigger payoff or doing it the same way as the books. I was just wondering about your opinion. What do you think? Will we get that? Will we get that reveal or won't we get it? That was just my question.
Lifeline the Fool is asking, we saw the new footage just no, I have not.
I will not.
Oh, we can see Dusty is doing reactions at some point tomorrow after watching the show, and Rafe's gonna be on at some point.
Yeah, but it's like 1 a.m. my time, so
yeah. But
I'll catch up in replay.
But okay, I think we need to actually round off the show now.
Yeah.
It's getting late for some of us.
Yeah.
But we are all very excited for episode 4, I believe. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in and listening to our rambles. And flick that like button, join our Discord, and continue the discussions. And
see you next time.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.